So hi Aniket, hi, good evening.
Hi, good
So
evening.
so Aniket, so tell me something about yourself, like how you practice HRM program.
So basically,
Yeah,
I come from an unconventional background, sort of. I have coming from the engineering background.
yeah,
I did my BTech from NIT Nagpur and then sort of switch into the management field. Had work
mm,
experiences and marketing for almost 18
mm,
months, around
mm,
2 years. And then I was actually preparing for the MBA exams, like CAT and ZAD was my first priority actually.
mm,
But then again, things didn't went because every single time things didn't went as per your ideas are. So
mm,
again, the HR was something the field I
mm,
was always had a corner because marketing and sales
mm,
domain was something which I already worked in.
mm,
But HR is also something which I had gained some knowledge about
mm,
and what future prospect it could have.
mm,
Then and the TISS, obviously, when we talked about the HR
mm,
in a management. So these are the top leagues that you have.
mm,
So
yeah,
it used to have the TISSNet exam. Then
mm,
fortunately it got
CVT.
scrapped. It
Mm,
to CVT PG. So
mm,
though I had to prepare for the MBA CAT only, so that helped
mm,
me for the CVT because CVT is compared when you compare with the MBA exams CATs and that, so it's
mm,
fairly on the lower side.
yeah,
So
definitely.
preparation of the CAT that helped me very much to
Mm.
crack the CVT very easily, scoring
So
almost.
what was your CVT score last year?
It was 290. I had 290 score.
290. Okay. So what are the basically like extempore and I think GD was happened or any
Yeah,
extempore?
that time in
Hmm.
our times for the HRM and LR
Hmm.
and also for the LSP and the
Hmm.
analytics, they
Hmm.
had the extempore
Yeah.
GD
Hmm.
and the interview. But
Okay.
unfortunately, this time since they are taking from the CAT only,
Yes.
they don't have GD extempores. They just have the interviews only.
Interview only. Okay.
This
So
is
what?
the new.
Okay. So what was your GD topic and how was your experience with GD and PI?
Yeah, since it went online session,
Yeah.
Extempo was again something which they will just throw you a topic on you,
Hmm.
and uh, besides the idea is not just about that how well you are how
Hmm.
jargons that you are speaking. The idea
Hmm.
is more about what facets you are exploring out of the topic.
Hmm.
Suppose in the AI in job market, for example,
Hmm.
if it's a topic, then the idea is not that how well you are able to speak, but the idea is more
Hmm.
focus is more about what different facets that you are covering, what
Hmm.
different
Yeah.
dimensions you are covering.
Hmm.
Though you're not too good in speaking, so that was the idea of extempo. That what I thought they had judged me.
Yeah.
And in GD, since it's an online session,
Yeah.
it went very competitive because again, there are like eight
Hmm.
people, eight or
Hmm.
people in one GD. So it
Hmm.
always was very competitive because you had to find some slot in
Hmm.
between to
Hmm.
get the chance even because I remember some of the people didn't even got the chance to
Hmm.
even state their point. So this is
Hmm.
the very much crucial thing
Hmm.
in the online to at least uh,
Hmm.
have that what we can
Yeah.
say have that attitude to even get a
Hmm.
chance to speak, and
Okay.
then when it comes it should be a weighted, very much weighted point, not just a very
Hmm.
common thing speaking. So
Then what were the duration of the GD in extempore? And if you remember the topic, what it was?
in extempo I don't remember actually my
Yeah.
topic. In
Okay.
GD it was something related to ethics,
Hmm.
uh, they it were like diametrically opposite
Hmm.
scenarios they had given, that whether
Okay.
in some situation would you
Hmm.
go into ethics or
Hmm.
prefer to be more methodical. For example, in
Hmm.
organization, if you have some set of rules, you had to
Hmm.
follow that.
Mm-hmm.
it was around, for example, if I had to give a scenario, in suppose in sales and marketing,
Mm-hmm.
if you since you have some set of targets, so that is
Mm-hmm.
the targets that the company has set, the KPIs that is set,
Right.
you
Right.
have to achieve. And
Mm-hmm.
then there is the ethical part as well, that if suppose the person is not able to achieve that particular target, he
Mm-hmm.
is going out of his way to
Mm-hmm.
for example unethical way to show the targets, then this is something which is not okay. So whether you will go for ethics or
Mm-hmm.
you go unethical way. So this was the my GD topic. so
Okay.
uh,
What was
so
the time for GD has given
it
this?
was around 25 to 30 minutes, sort of.
Okay.
And it
Okay.
depends on them. If they feels
Mm-hmm.
like you're having very much contradiction and you are fighting
Mm.
too much with themselves, so they used to interrupt us.
So
This
like
is not.
they are giving basically case-based topic. So suppose
Yeah,
they
they
are
give us
giving case.
cases. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So now,
earlier it wasn't used to be a case base. It was just used
mm,
to be a GD topic.
mm,
In our it was a new concept. They had come up with the
mm,
case. They just displayed a case in front of us.
mm.
We had some duration to just go through that case, and then we had to
Okay.
start.
And now talking about your PI, how was your PI?
Yeah, so PI
Yeah.
was since it mostly depends on since it
Mm,
mostly depend on your profile. They had your
yeah.
profile, and it would
Mm-hmm.
be a profile based. If you
Mm-hmm.
have very eccentric profile, which means either you have been
Mm,
very overachiever, or
mm,
maybe you come up with some very different sort of background. Like in
mm,
my case, being engineer, then into sales and marketing, then going for the HR. So the
mm,
curve was like up and down, up and down. So
yeah.
this sort of thing they look
Mm,
forward. So if
mm,
there must be something in your CV or something in your
mm,
profile which is odd
mm,
out of others, so which
mm,
will help. So in my case, since it was some sort of up and down, so they asked me more on my why I went from engineering to sales and marketing, then why I
mm,
went from sales and marketing to HR.
mm,
Then again, more on my my work ex. If you have work ex, then you
mm.
can expect question
You have
on your
18
work.
in 18 months of work experience,
18
no?
months
Okay,
of work
okay,
I had in sales and
okay,
marketing. So
okay.
they would one question would be definitely to relate your work ex with
Mm,
HR. If you're going for the
mm,
HR, if you're for any other field, then how you
mm.
are able to relate your work ex with the domain. So
Domain.
that would pretty much
Mm.
question which would definitely come.
Any HR related question or any like subject related
Uh,
questions?
it in my case, I couldn't
Yeah,
remember any single HR question that have been asked. Only
yeah.
the related, somewhat related to attrition, because in my past work gigs, I had something
Mm,
related to attrition. Company was facing some attrition, so they
mm,
had asked me some ethical question, what ethical dilemma they tried to create. Since it's a
mm,
TISS is has some social corner. They had some
mm,
social background, so they
mm,
would always try to connect with things with the some
mm.
social aspect, be
Okay.
it ethical, being ethical, or be it would you go for like
Yeah.
have would you have a social perspective, or would you go more into numbers, sort of thing.
Mm.
So that question I had, and not more specifically, there was no question specifically on
Okay.
HR. Some of my
Basically a
friends got,
profile related.
yeah, it was profile
Yeah.
related, but some of my friends got question from the HR. So it depends
Okay.
on the panel as well. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of ethics question? Like any corporate ethical or any other thing?
Yeah, the one question was again, uh, like for example, again,
Mm,
some employee in the organization had tried
mm,
to achieve something, tried
mm,
to achieve in unethical manner.
mm,
Then
mm, mm,
one question was, I remember one question. The panel asked me that one of your friend in the organization
mm,
had tried to achieve certain KPIs,
mm,
certain goals in an unethical manner. Then
mm,
you know this. that he has done something unethically. So would you complain about him to the senior HR, or would
Hmm.
you just recommend him कि
Hmm.
you don't do this? So
Hmm.
or you just hide this thing. So this is
Hmm.
the question I remember. So he just tried to gauge me कि मैं क्या सोचूंगा उस टाइम पे और I would
Definitely.
take. So
Okay.
whether I would go to hide or would I just suggest him or would I just complain? So
Yeah.
my answer was very straightforward. If
Hmm.
he's going unethical way, then I should float this to the upper management. He is
Hmm.
going unethical way, and there must be some action or some warning sort of thing has to be taken.
Hmm.
So
Because they
such
they they are basically judging yourself, like how your analytical part.
yeah,
Yeah.
mostly in a social aspect, that
Yeah.
is
Social
very
aspect.
in their questionnaires
Yeah.
and their attitude of asking
Okay.
questions.
So it was part of grilling interview or initial interview? Was.
Uh, it was in middle of the interview they started grilling me, sort of
Hmm.
key why you wanted to go for HR. There's no
Yeah.
relation, and then I
Yeah.
had to again give some substantial examples,
Hmm.
substantiate everything what I'm saying
Hmm.
with the well experience example or
Hmm.
something has been I had experience with कि
Hmm.
ये हुआ था that's why I'm going
Hmm.
for it, and these are the
अच्छा.
example which is connecting me with this.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
there was always the backfire question
Hmm.
with whatever I was saying, so
Hmm.
substantiating everything. So
Hmm.
in the sense of it is you should know yourself very well
Hmm. Hmm.
कि you are
Okay.
planning to go for do something, then why
Hmm.
you are planning to do something. So if this
Okay.
question is very clear with you, then you can able to substantiate with anything.
So what was the duration of for the PI? What it takes?
PI was again 30-35 minutes.
30 to 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So like last year, so for this year students, so what is your suggestion to cover that topic or any background related topic?
Again,
Yeah.
since they will be taken through CAT. Again, this
Hmm.
is the there's no GD, there's no extempore.
Hmm.
So the PI would be somewhat extensive.
Hmm.
Like they would take
Hmm.
PI more that way, and some might
Hmm.
think we are giving CAT and we are going through
Hmm.
CAT.
Hmm.
So they would always have that I am management wala thing.
Hmm.
We are will be competing with the or will be giving
Hmm.
interviews of the I am Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and the Blackies and all.
Definitely.
But these interviews and the TISS interview, there is a drastic difference between them because
Hmm.
if you are very much into numbers or very much into theories and technical aspect, then you might lack somehow in TISS interviews because
Hmm.
they would always give plus point to those candidate who has that social aspect and that soft
Hmm. Yeah.
corners in terms of social things,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
the ethical aspect, because a general manager kind of person or would
Hmm.
be more technical or more theoretical in aspect would not would go into numbers only.
Hmm. Hmm.
If he's
Definitely.
achieving this target, then that is okay. But in the TISS kind of institute, they would be like, even though if you are not achieving the particular target, but if you are being more ethical, if you are being more concerned about the
Hmm.
humanities sort of thing or this
Okay.
people culture kind of thing, then you have
Yeah.
that plus one age.
तो इसमें जैसे कि बताया कि वो फ्रेशर ज्यादा देख रहे हैं या फिर कोई बंदा बहुत फोड़ के आया है, किसी वर्क एक्सपीरियंस बहुत है, तो उसको
हाँ
ज्यादा
अगेन
टारगेट कर रहे हैं या फिर फ्रेशर्स को ज्यादा कर रहे हो?
तो टिस में दिस इज द वेरी यूनिक थिंग कि दे
हम्म.
वोंट बी लाइक आई विल बी फोकसिंग ऑन मोर ऑन फ्रेशर एंड विल बी
हम्म.
फोकसिंग मोर ऑन एक्सपीरियंस.
या.
The batch will always have the diverse people. There would
डाइवर्स.
be
ओके.
people from the work ethics, there would be people from the psychology,
या.
any humanities, any
हम्म.
background. The background would be very diverse. So this is the
हम्म.
place where wherein uh, you
हम्म.
cannot standardize yourself कि
हम्म.
I won't be able to make it to the test. So
Hmm.
whatever profile you have the equal amount of chances to get into.
Okay. So suppose anyone has less percentile this year in CAT. I think the cutoff is I think 95 or 98 this year.
Yeah.
So if anybody has higher percentile, so priority would be higher to select or not if anybody has less percentile.
Again, if he's
Hmm.
able to make it to the interview,
Hmm.
then I would say the probability of getting like even though
Hmm.
you have a higher percentile, but
Hmm.
still you had the probability, you had a fair chance to get to make into the
Hmm.
finals, because
और अभी
again.
हाँ और जैसे कि अभी क्या जैसे सिनेरियो चल रहा है वहाँ पे डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ जैसे वर्क एक्सपीरियंस वाले आए हुए हैं फ्रेशर्स भी हैं क्या अभी चल रहा है
Okay.
अभी क्लास में बैच में कितने जैसे हैं?
Abhi, yeah, we have like the strength of 65, around 65 odd
हम्म
people, and the 30%, 30-40% are the work kicks, 30 around 30%. Most
हम्म
of the people are freshers.
हम्म
Again, doesn't matter from which background you're coming from.
हम्म
Uh, some are from the chemistry background, some are from the
हम्म
engineering, some are from the
हम्म
so very diverse sort of people we have in this
ओके
batch. So
ओके
that is not the differentiator factor कि you are from engineer
या
only. So
डेफिनेटली
here the scenario is not like कि if you are the 90% of the people would be
हम्म
engineers. So here is not the case.
डेफिनेटली so what is currently going on about internship and placement going on that is
Placement report as it's already out.
yeah
Most of we are
yes
inside apps and all they have placed the so placement
yeah
is fair enough because since the batch size is pretty
yeah
much very low, so
yeah
placement is not the case. It's not
yeah
and again the uh,
yeah
it's in HRM the diversity is something,
hmm.
DEI is something which is very fascinating
Hmm.
term that we have. So
So you
again.
said about the internship factor, like there is every semester, I think they have field work. So what is this? Can you please elaborate it?
So, since in normal MBA school, you will have only one summer internship, which is after
Hmm,
your
right.
second semester.
Hmm,
So, here the idea of the TISS is to give
hmm,
you the actual
hmm,
workplace experience, actual
hmm,
how corporate experience is, because
hmm,
just after just studying the theoretical concepts and all won't help you
hmm,
much. When
hmm,
you actually go into the setting of the organization, you get
hmm,
some project, you interact with the people, that is
hmm,
the main learning. Because
hmm,
after 2 years
definitely.
of your masters, you are any which way you are going
Hmm,
for to the particular organization only.
definitely.
So there you'll have to interact with the people, get the project done, get the things done.
Okay.
So idea is to give you the prior experience before you
Yeah.
graduate, and not a
Okay.
single experience but a 5 set of experience. For every semester you have one set
Yeah.
of field work, 1 month of
Okay.
internship that you goes in, you get a project, you do the
Yeah.
project. Yes, sir, there is 4 to 5 credits for
Hmm.
this. There are
Hmm.
credits actually. Total 6 credits
Okay.
are there for each field work internship for each
Yeah.
semester. So it's a part of
It's
the
mandatory
academic
to
itself.
okay.
It's
It's mandatory to
mandatory.
all of you. Okay.
Yeah, you'll
Okay.
get
Okay.
based on your resumes, based on your
Hmm.
CVs, you'll get an internship, and
Okay.
it's a mandatory. It's a part of the academic itself.
I think it's a
So
good
they,
initiative by the TISS. I
yeah,
think no one college is giving nowadays.
very much unique.
Yeah, very much
Yeah.
unique. So, like, what kinds of roles offer in the internship or placement, basically in HRM, basically?
In the internship, you won't be in sort of any roles. You'll get a
Yeah,
project
yeah,
wherein which might
mm,
be a live project or any sort of
mm,
project in the human resource
mm,
department the
mm,
organization is facing any issue with.
mm,
So you have to work on this project. You have to give some deliverables to the organization and also
mm,
to the faculty mentor that you have
mm,
from the
mm,
organization. So that you have
mm,
to complete. And for the summers, it will be altogether different because since you'll be paid a stipend for that, there will
mm,
be the stakes would be very high.
mm,
It would be more of an actual live project that the organization have,
mm.
uh, and there won't be any sort of role actually you will be in,
Okay.
and it's
Or
not necessary necessary that
Hmm.
you will get a project into human resource only.
Hmm.
You might get
Sure.
project from the sales and marketing, you might get
Hmm.
project in supply chain management,
Hmm.
management, but it would have some linkage with the human resource, HRM.
ओके।
Yeah.
तो क्या अभी तक हाईएस्ट रहा इंटर्नशिप में, क्या लोएस्ट रहा प्लेसमेंट में, क्या अभी हाईएस्ट चल रहा है अभी हाईएस्ट
It's
पैकेज
in
और लोएस्ट?
placement report. It's actually already given. It's 4.5 is the highest.
या
It's already in the placement report, so you can anyone can refer to the placement report.
हम्म। ओके ओके, इंटर्नशिप में क्या चल रहा है, ऐसा कुछ कोई ऐसा नंबर?
Internship is like our fieldworks is going on. We'll be going for the
हम्म।
summer internship after
चलो।
after the 3rd of April.
ओके
So
ओके
we'll
ओके
get a project based on this. It will be two
ओके।
months of summer intern.
हम्म। Actually, Aniket, like last year, we have also applied for the test, I think, analytics program.
Yeah.
What was their interview?
Again,
Hmm.
analytics was my first preference was
Hmm.
the HRM. Second was
Hmm.
analytics. So in
Hmm.
analytics, since they were more into the technical aspect of it, you
Hmm.
should be
Hmm.
more into data, more into
Hmm.
you should be knowing softwares. Or they were
Hmm.
look in my interview especially since there was just extempore and interview itself. So in my interview, I had this notion or understanding that they wanted some person who has some technical background in the data
Hmm.
because my question was more into the data only. So there
Okay.
was nothing about my work case, nothing about my profile, but
Yeah.
the only data that how would you go about extracting the data of it out of some big chunk of data that you have been given.
Hmm.
How would you sort this, how would you filter this, and what sort of
Hmm.
insights be able to come out of it. So
Hmm.
that which is more into technical aspects, so I wasn't more into the data, so it didn't went well for me.
So basically, they have given a case of graphs. So basically, you have to analyze it.
Yeah,
Okay.
not
Okay.
graphs, but they have just
Hmm.
given key how would you go about doing this,
Hmm.
क्या तुम
Hmm.
filter करोगे, क्या चीज
Hmm.
तुम
Hmm.
extract करोगे, what sort of insights you'll be able to
Hmm.
come with. So
मुझे
ऐसे
लगा
कुछ.
नहीं कि तुम्हारा टेक्निकल बैकग्राउंड है, तो मुझे लगा टेस्ट एनालिटिक्स में ज्यादा प्रेफर करेंगे।
No technical background since I had
हाँ।
BTech, but that too it was
या
civil engineering. In civil
या
engineering, we don't have this
यस राइट।
analytics.
सो कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन है कि आप एनालिटिक्स में क्यों आ रहे हो, वाई, और सिविल बैकग्राउंड है आपका?
That is the basic question in HRM as well. They ask why HRM and analytics was
हम्म।
again tried to
यस।
substantiate since I was very upfront with
हम्म।
my decision that because there was one ma'am who asked me that why you wanted to go into analytics. I was
हम्म।
very straightforward that my first preference is HRM only
हम्म।
since I was looking for the second option which could be
हम्म।
analytics for me. So
हम्म।
might be that that could have helped
हम्म।
me to
हम्म।
give them understanding कि मेरा
हम्म।
first priority is the HRM only. So they
अच्छा
won't be
या।
in a dilemma कि ये बंदा
हम्म।
HRM में भी apply कर रहा है, analytics में
हम्म।
भी apply कर रहा है. So I had gave
हम्म।
them very clear notion कि मेरा first priority is HRM only.
अच्छा। ओके
So
ओके
that
ओके।
might be the case कि they should also have understanding because at the end when panel will discuss among themselves, so they
ओके
shouldn't
ओके।
feel like कि ये बंदा इसमें भी apply कर रहा है, इसमें भी apply कर रहा है.
या
So he
राइट।
is not himself clear with कि इसको
राइट।
जाना कहाँ पे है. So
सो
that's why I
इसमें भी
was very
एक्सटेम्पोर, अच्छा इसमें भी
इसमें
एक्सटेम्पोर और जीडी
हाँ
था?
extempore था. Yeah.
अच्छा एक्सटेम्पोर था सर, क्या था
Yeah.
एक्सटेम्पोर, वैसे कितने मिनट से चला?
Extempore again it was 10
हम्म।
12 minutes. They have again given me a
हम्म।
case. Uh,
हम्म।
was like if you went into the village and
हम्म।
if you saw some fires burning over there, some peoples are cooking their foods into with the on the fire, or some are cooking on the gas stoves.
हम्म।
So if this is the visual scenario in front of you, what sort of insights will be come up with,
हम्म।
what would be the type of data. So this was kind
हम्म।
of extreme.
ओके, सो लाइक इट वाज ग्रिलिंग और चिल इंटरव्यू एनालिटिक्स?
It was grill because again they
हाँ।
got an idea that I don't know anything
यस।
about
हम्म।
analytics, so they just
हम्म।
started grilling me until
हम्म।
until I get tired. that I
हम्म
don't know about analytics until I admit myself कि I don't know
हम्म
much about analytics.
हम्म
So this was the grid until I admit.
ओके ओके। सो कैसा मतलब इस बार के जो भी स्टूडेंट्स है, तो लास्ट एक फाइनल बता दो क्या उनको प्रिपेयर करना चाहिए दोनों के लिए।
Again,
हम्म
first basic idea is if you are aspiring for getting into TISS,
हम्म
have an understanding of yourself first,
हम्म
because interview was more about you should be knowing yourself first.
हम्म
Second, uh, whatever your work is, whatever your background, you should be
हम्म
thorough with it.
हम्म
कि क्या तुमने किया है, it shouldn't be that I had work is just for the sake of. You should
हम्म
be able to connect the dot that you
हम्म
are your graduation was from this, then you went to have this work if you have work, then
हम्म
from that work how you're connecting the dot with the HRM, human resource.
राइट
So you should be very thorough with, very clear. You should have some
हम्म
notes with yourself ki
हम्म
very much idea that I have very repository of everything,
हम्म
कि मैं यहाँ से यहाँ क्यों जाना चाह रहा हूँ, यहाँ से यहाँ क्यों जाना चाह रहा हूँ. When
हम्म
I am very clear about myself, then only I'll be able to convince, because it will be very much visible to the people कि बंदा
राइट
fake कर रहा है कि genuine है.
राइट
तो
राइट।
बस वो उनको जानना रहता है.
और लास्ट ईयर अनिकेत जब कोर्स में आई थिंक ज्वाइन किए थे हम लोग के, तो हेल्प किया था इसमें।
Bilkul, because again, since this
हम्म
session of MBA Shala, the reason why it helped
हम्म
me, I used to join some of the GD programs, but again,
हम्म
US GD was like कि आप
हम्म
moderator थे उसमें. So
हम्म
since what happens when there is moderator कि अगर बहुत ज़्यादा aggressive जा रहा है GD या फिर बहुत
हम्म
ज़्यादा डर, there is someone to moderate it.
हम्म
तो जब वैसा होता है, then at least you have some constructive feedbacks. It
हम्म
is not just like कि भाई जीडी हो रहा है तो हो रहा है, चल रहा है तो चल रहा है. You get a
राइट
diverse perspective कि कौन कौन से
हम्म
जीडी topics है, that is also getting covered. So
हम्म
it was pretty much helpful to be genuine,
हम्म
rather than I was also attending other GD as well, but since there was
हम्म।
a person moderating it and
एचआर
having
के
GD.
क्वेश्चन आई थिंक प्रिपेयर किए थे ना लास्ट ईयर, एचआर
Yeah,
के भी
we
काफी
had in
सारे हैं।
GD, we had, I guess, in
हम्म
repository, we had every sort of GD topics.
हम्म
And if you had this idea, then you also have a perspective of कि current में भी क्या चल रहा है, HR में भी क्या चल रहा है. So if you have this broad perspective, then definitely any
हम्म
GD topic, if it comes, any extempore topic it comes, you'll be able to
हम्म
have that at least basic set of knowledge or ideas or the
हम्म।
concept you can talk about.
चलो
It was pretty much
बढ़िया है।
helpful.
और अनिकेत वहाँ पे अंश मिले कि नहीं? अंश थे आई थिंक, और भी कई
Ansh,
सारे स्टूडेंट्स
when
थे।
I know from the GD program, we
या
used to have sort of GD, but again, same thing.
हम्म
The HRM program is going very with the
हम्म
very 2x speed. We are
हम्म
having events and internships and summer internships. Things
या
are
राइट।
going like we not even to able to see how
हम्म
things are going. So again, it's very hard to manage
ओके
things.
ओके
Not
ओके
able
नो
to meet.
प्रॉब्लम।
अंश से कभी मिला नहीं actually,
हम्म
but we had a conversation.
ओके 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 अनिकेत, आई थिंक हैव अ गुड टाइम टू इंटरेक्ट विद यू एंड
हाँ,
फिर से हम लोग मिलेंगे जल्दी।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
और ठीक है, अभी तो प्रिपेयर करेंगे, अगर होगा सेशन में, अगर फ्री रहो तो कभी आना।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, आप बताइए टाइम जैसे मैच होता है.
नहीं नहीं, अरे मैं यही टाइम बहुत हेक्टिक करके निकाला हूँ, और थैंक यू फॉर गिविंग जॉइन टू अस।
थैंक यू मी ऑल्सो, because GD really
हम्म
genuinely helped me, because
हम्म
this is not just I'm saying,
हम्म
but it genuinely helped me to
हम्म
again
हम्म
again be able to speak or be able to explain myself,
डेफिनेटली।
or even had a practice of
हम्म
speaking with the people. So it was genuinely helpful.
ओके ओके। ठीक है अनिकेत, तो फिर हम लोग मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट कभी सेशन में। और गुड
Thank
लक
you.
फॉर योर इंटर्नशिप एंड प्लेसमेंट।
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
चलो हैव अ गुड डे अनिकेत।
Have a good day. Bye.
बाय।